Okay, students, let's go over your practice test, version 2 for this one. Number 1, the ratio of angles A and B are 7 to 3. What's the measure of the smaller angle? Okay, this is, looking at this drawing here, I should see that A and B are called linear pairs, which means they're supplementary, which means they add to 180. Whenever I see a ratio, I know I'm putting the x behind it for 7 parts, 3 parts, for a total of 10 parts, equals 180 because they're supplementary. So I divide by 10 on both sides, x equals 18. Didn't ask for x, asked for the smaller angle. The smaller angle would be 18 times 3, which then is 54. Okay, let's come over here, number 6. Graph the segment 4, -4 for A. B is -2, 2 right there. Then dilation with a scale factor of 0.5, which means it's going to be half the distance away, centered at 2, 2. So I plot 2, 2. And I look at how far is it from here to here. That's a total of 4. So I'm going to go halfway. That's 0.5, which is 2. How far is it from here to here? How do I go halfway? Well, if I look at this, I went down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I went right 2, right? So I'm going to do half of that. Basically using the slope and doing half it. So instead of down 6, right 2, it's going to be down 3, right 1. 1, 2, 3, and right 1, and there's A prime. So you got the A prime and the B prime there. Okay, and there's your answers. And then that is at 0, 2. You got to name the points, and 3, -1. So you can use slope, go down and right, or, and there's do half that amount, so it's 0.5. If the scale factor was 1.5, I would, since it was down 6, I'd go in there half of 6, which is 3. I'd go down 9. And instead of right 2, I'd go right 3, because 1.5 times 2 is 3. Okay, so you can use that for any ratio that they want. Okay, number 2, segment AB has endpoints 1, 6 and 6, 2. Point R lies on it. The ratio of the length from A to R to R to B is 2 to 3. Find the coordinates of point R round to nearest tenth. Okay, again, I choose which one I want to start from. I'm choosing point A. Remember, A to R is 2 parts away. Okay, now it's going to be a total of 5 parts. So this is where this 2/5 come. It's 2/5 of the whole distance, and the extra distance is 5. Okay, that whole, so that's the x, change, how far from this x coordinate to this x coordinate, 5. That's where this 5 comes from. I'm starting at the point 1, and since I'm going 1 to 6, if you need a plotting, you can plot them down here. Okay, but I could also just say, okay, if I'm starting at point at x coordinate 1, I'm going towards 6, positive 6 is going to the right, so that's going to be a plus. Okay, then in the y direction, I'm starting at 6 and going down to 2, so that's down, so that's going to be negative. Okay, and of course, I'm starting at 6 for that. Okay, it's still 2/5 away. 2/5, 2 parts away out of the total of 5 parts. And what's that total distance in the y direction? From 6 to 2, that's a total of 4. That's why you see 4 here. Okay, so now you just type that in your calculator, round in your tenth. It comes out to be exactly 3. You got to put a 0.0 in there for the tenth spot. 3.0, 4.4. Okay. So that's using the ratio like this. Don't forget, I could also have done it if I'm going from that, from from A again, I have 1 and 6, the plus and the minus. I'm going 2 parts away if I want to do it this way. Well, how far is each part? From 1 to 6 is 5, and I'm dividing by a total of 5 parts. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. Okay, that's the other way of doing it. So I'm showing you 2 ways. Okay, and again, I could say I'm going 2 parts from 6 down, and how far is it from B? 6 minus 2 is 4. Okay, out of the 5 is 4/5. Okay, and in both cases, you notice I get 8/5. That gives me 8/5, and this gives me 8/5. So either way, however you like prefer that setup, gives you the exact same answer. So I've just shown you two different ways. Okay, number 3. A to B again, those are the endpoints, R is in between. But I look at what's given to me. A to B, that's a total of 3 parts. A to B is the whole distance. So the whole distance is 3 parts. And then it says from B to R is 2 parts away. So since they give me B to R, I'll go ahead and go from B. So I put down the coordinates of B, 0, -5. 0 to -6 is to the left. So that's why it's negative. And -5 to +7 is to the right. So that's why it's positive. Your signs right there. That's how you can do it without graphing them. You can always plot the points and draw it and see. Okay. And it's 2 parts away. Okay. From B. And how far is it in the X? From the X, from -6 to 0 is a total of 6. Okay. And is dividing that into 3 parts. So dividing by 3 gives me 2 for each part. That's why you have the 2 there. Okay. Then going from the y coordinates from 7 to -5 is a total of 12. Divided by those 3 total parts is 4. So each part is worth 4. And that's why you see the 4 right there. So 0 minus 4 is -4. And -5 plus 8 is 3. Okay, and there's your point for your answer. All right, number 7, graphing inequalities. X equals 6, no equal sign, so it's dashed. All you should know, X equals the numbers of vertical line, Y equals the numbers of horizontal. So Y equals 0. Again, it's dashed because there's no equal sign. Okay, I'm just graphing the lines right now. Okay, then I have point slope form, so I can pull out the point. The opposite of +2 is -2. The opposite of -2 is +2 for the point. So -2, 2 is right there, and then there's my slope. Okay, and I can put it the negative in either spot. I like to put it in the numerator, so that'd be down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. And again, no equal sign, so it's dashed. Okay. Now, I can go ahead and fill in the gaps here. I'm going to change the color so you can see how I go about it. It says X is greater than 6. So greater than is to the right side. So it's here, here, or here. Those are all greater than 6, those 3 regions. So I put a dot in each region. Next, Y is less than 0. That's going to be down here, 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 or here. One of those 3 regions. Those are all Y less than 0. And lastly, oh, and here, that's also Y less than 0. And down here is also Y less than 0. And lastly, for the oblique one, it says less than. Less than is only here, here, and here. That's less than that curve. Well, where do I have all 3? Where do I have 3 points? Right down in this area right here. That satisfies all 3 of them. This one only satisfies 2. This one only satisfies 2. That only satisfies 1. That only satisfies 1. That only satisfies 1. Only down there were all 3 satisfied. Okay, so that's an easy way if you just put a dot after you graphed all the lines to begin with and put a dot for each region that is true. Okay. All right, number 8 is putting in the graphing calculator. It's already both solved for y, gave you an easy one. So you put 1 in y sub 1 and 1 in y sub 2. Graph it, round to nearest hundredth. So I then use that second calc on the graphing calculator, number 5, which is intersect. It'll say first curve, second curve, and then the guess. You can hit the first time through. You can just hit enter, enter, enter 3 times. It'll pop to the closest one, and you'll get one of those 2. Then the second time through, you do second calc again, number 5, and you enter, enter, and then on the guess, you move the right or left arrow to the other intersection point and get close to it. Hit enter, and it gives you the other one. You must round to the nearest hundredth to get full credit. All right, number 4. Okay, it says we are given A and R this time, not B. Okay. Now, A is negative 8, 6. Negative 8, negative 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Negative 8, negative 6. R is negative 8, positive 6. Okay, so there's A. There's R. B has to be somewhere up here because B is the other endpoint. Remember, R is in between. So obviously the X coordinates are going to be the same all along here. That's why it's only asking in the directions for the Y coordinates. The only thing it's going to change. Notice negative 8 there, negative 8 there. B would also be negative 8 on the X coordinate. Okay, the Y is going to change. Okay, now it says the length from R to B, well, is a total of 2 parts. Well, we don't know what to do with that yet, but we can use the A to R. A to R is 3 parts. So what is this total distance from A to R? What is that total distance right there? Well, I went from negative 6 to positive 6. That's a total of 12 for that total distance. But that 12 is all the parts, and it has made up of 3 parts. So I divide that by 3. So each part is worth 4. Okay, so if I go up 4 more here, 1, 2, 3, 4, that'd be 1 part, but it's 2 parts. So I have to go another 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then so B would be 8 up from R. Where is the R? It starts at 6. So what is 6 plus 8? 14, right there. Okay. Number 9, what are the possible lengths of the third side of a triangle given these two? Remember, all you have to do, you got to have x in the middle. Okay, so x is greater than, you do 10 minus 3 to get the smaller one, and 10 plus 3 to get the larger one. So it's got to be between 7 and 13. What's the exact distance from the origin? Okay, that's very simple. Anytime it's from the origin, you can just square each of these numbers and add them together and put it underneath the square root. So 25 plus 4 is 29, square root of 29. Boom, done. Okay, number 11. M's the midpoint of segment AB, so they give you A and they give you M. They want you to find the other endpoint B. So it's got to be the same distance. Midpoint means the same distance. So how far from negative 6 to negative 2? I added 4 to get from negative 6 to negative 2. So that means I have to add 4 again. So I see the plus 4 there. So what's negative 4 plus, negative 2 plus 4? Positive 2. Now I do the exact same thing again with the y's. How do I get from 3 to 2? I subtract 1. So I must subtract 1 again. 2 minus 1 is 1. And there's your answer, 2, 1. You could plot that out and verify it. And in plotting out, you can just use slope. Okay? So for example, negative 6, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, negative 6, 3. The midpoint was negative 2, 2, negative 2, 2. Well, how do I get from there? I would go down 1. So it's down 1, and I went right 4. So I just do the same thing again. Go down 1, right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it takes me to 2, 1. Okay, so that's using slope. Down 1, right 4, down 1, right 4 again. So you can plot it and do that way, or do what I just showed you up there. Your choice. All right, number 5. We're given A and B, the endpoints again. R lies somewhere along there. This time, though, and they're telling me the segment ratio is 3 to 1, but it says find the 2 points where R could be. So it's not telling me which way 3 to 1 is. It could be 3 to 1 from A or 3 to 1 from B. Well, 3 to 1 from A, yes. Okay, so I'm going to go, it's my choice which way I can go 3 parts from A and 3 parts from B, or I can go 1 part from A and 1 part from B. Obviously 1 is less, so just use that. So from A, again, put down the point, negative 7, 9. If I'm going from negative 7 to negative 3, that's the right, so it's positive. If I'm going from 9 down to 5, that's down. I'm going to start at 9 and going down to 5, so it's minus. Okay, remember, if I'm going to use 1 part, okay, this is the one setup. I'll do the other setup with it. Okay, so I have the negative 7 plus, 9 minus. I'm going to go 1 part away. 1 part. Okay, well, how much is each part? How far is it from -7 to -3? That's 4. I'm dividing by a total of 4 parts. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. So 1 is there. Okay, for the x, how far is it from 9 to 5? That's also 4 divided by 4. So that's 1. So I have -7 plus 1 is -6. Same thing over here. 9 minus 1 is 8. Same thing right there. So those are the two different methods you can use. That's for 1 point, -6, 8. I'm going one part from A. So now I'm going to do the same thing. Here's the other method with B. I'll do the other method over here with the B. From B, -3 and 5. Remember, now you're going the opposite direction, so it's going to switch those signs, minus and plus. I'm still going one part away. And that, I've already done your division up there, 1 and 1. Okay, so now I have -3 minus 1 is -4, and 5 plus 1 is 6. Same answers I have right there. Okay, so there's the 2 points that fit on here. Okay, so you're going to have one of those or two of those on your final. Okay, they love directed line segments. There's 2 to 3 of them on the DCAS. All right, so that's front side. Back side now. The line y equals -5x minus 4 is dilated by a scale factor of 4, centered at 0, -1. So I first want to check to see if 0, -1 is on the line. It's not. Remember, if it's on the line, the answer is the exact same equation. This is not on the line. Okay? This is at 0, -1. This y-intercept is 0, -4. Okay? So how far is it from 0, -1 to 0, -4? I went down 3. So I'm subtracting 3. That's a scale factor of 1. I need to go down 3 more. That would be a scale factor of 2. Go down 3 more. That'd be a scale factor of 3. Go down 3 more, and that'd be a scale factor of 4. Okay, and that's what I want, scale factor of 4. So I'm going down a total of 9, starting at the -4. So -4 minus 9 is your -13. Remember, the slope does not change. It's always parallel. Okay. Number 16. Let's go ahead and erase this off so you can see it easier. 16 here. Line segment AB, whose endpoints are those points right there, is the image of CD. So CD is the pre-image after a dilation of 1/3. So it got 1/3 smaller when I have this answer right here. So to get back up to the pre-image, I have to do the reciprocal of that, multiply it by 3. So after I find this answer, the distance between those 2 points, I can use distance formula I was going to do, then I multiply that answer by 3. And that'll be the length of your pre-image. Okay, so -4 to 10 is a total distance of 6. 6 squared is 36. And from -2 to 12 is 14. 14 squared is 196. 196 plus 36 is 232, as you see underneath there. Okay, I see that 4 goes into 32, so 4 will divide into it evenly. And if I go 232 divided by 4, I get 58. So square root of 4 times square root of 58. Square root of 4 breaks down to 2. Square root of 58 does not break down. Okay, and now I take that answer and multiply it by 3. Because remember, the reciprocal of 1/3 is 3. So 2 times 3 is 6. Root 58. Remember, I can only multiply like things, so the numbers on the outside are like. Radicals can only be multiplied by other radicals. All right. 13, write the equation line that's the perpendicular bisector of the segment with endpoints there. So perpendicular, negative reciprocal, midpoint is the bisector. So I gotta find the midpoint between those two. Add, how far from 3 to -2? That's a total of 5, half of 5. Or I can just add the numbers and divide by 2. 3 plus -2 is 1, divided by 2 is 1/2. 1 minus 4 is -3 divided by 2, -3/2. So there's the midpoints. There's the point that's going to go through. And I need the perpendicular slope. So I need to find the slope between those 2 points, which is changing y over changing x. 1 minus -4 is 5, and -2 minus 3 is -5, which simplifies to -1. That's the parallel slope. I need the negative reciprocal. So negative reciprocal of -1 is positive 1. There's your perpendicular slope. So now it doesn't say what type of equation I have to put in what form, so I'm going to use point slope form. Y minus uh, oh, that should be y minus negative 3 halves. So that should be y plus 3 halves right there. Error right there. And y x minus a half. Slope of 1. Okay. So I can leave it like that. There's that answer. Or I could distribute the 1 through there, which is just x minus a half, and then subtract 3 halves across, which is going to make it negative 4 halves or minus 2 there. Okay. All right. So either one I'll take. All right. I did, oh no, 17. I need to first solve this all the time for y. So divide each by 4. I get this right here. Centered at the origin, easiest can be, because now I just multiply it by the y-intercept by the scale factor. 5 times 4 is, yeah, because I have the 5 there times that scale factor of 4 is 20. Okay, slope does not change. What are the coordinates of this? You need to remember that when I reflect over the line y equals x, it switches the coordinates. So that puts it at 4, negative 5, and then I do a dilation of 7, which you need to multiply both of those by 7. I get 28, negative 35. Number 14, in the coordinate plane, the locus of points 8 units away from a point. So this is my radius. So I write the equation of a circle. X minus a minus 2 is x plus 2 squared, y minus 8 squared, and that's r. But remember, this underneath here is r squared, so 8 squared is 64. Number 19, what's the slope of the image of this line? The slope of the image of the line, doesn't matter what the scale factor is or where it's centered, the slope never changes. So I just reduce that negative 4/8 down to negative 1/2. Number 15. The coordinate plane, the locus of all the points are equidistant from y equals 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Y equals 5. And y equals negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Well, all the points are equidistant are right there. Y equals 0. 5 away. Each one is 5 away. From there to there is 5. From there to there is 5 all along here. So the midpoint of 5 and negative 5 was 0. Y equals 0. Horizontal line. And lastly, exact center and radius of the circle. Remember, you have to have the x squared and y squared is positive. So that means all the x's and y's are moving to the other side. Constant stays on the other. So I have x squared minus 6x, because that was plus 6x. So it becomes minus 6x plus blank plus y squared, there is no other y, equals my 18 plus blank. Well, where do I get this? Is always half of b. Half of negative 6 is negative 3 squared is positive 9. So I got to add positive 9 to the other side. This then factors into x minus 3. Remember, I can just drop this down right there. X minus 3 squared plus y squared equals 18 plus 9 is 27. I do the opposite, so it's 3, 0 for the center, and I have to take the square root of 27, which then breaks down to square root of 9 times square root of 3, which then breaks down to 3 root 3, and there's my exact radius. All right, that goes ahead and ends the review, 24 minutes.